Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about House of Lancaster and how I play House of Lancaster in my tournament games. So I brought you a game here from KPMM, the weekly tournament that runs from every Friday till every Thursday. This is round of 16, I believe, versus Myriad. And so Myriad is playing China and I'm playing Lancaster. And I want to show this game because I think it's a really good representation of where Lancaster is at currently. I think this game, it's a little bit of a longer one, it's about 30 minutes, is one of the sort of best Lancaster games I think I've played so far, and it really shows you just how strong they are. And so if you're interested in learning more House of Lancaster, stick around for this video as I'm going to be analyzing both the early, mid-game, and late game, and how I play out those different phases with this civ. Because, again, so many people just play instant 9 manners or instant 6 manners, and then they just hope for the best. I want to just explain the decision-making process that is in those decisions between opening barracks or not, Abbey of Kings versus Lancaster, how many mana should you go, when to 2DC, when to Imperial Age. So, if you're interested in that, stick around and let's get into it. So, what I do is I like to, especially in matchups that are Pro Scout matchups, so those are China, those are French, JD, etc. Not Rus, of course. I really like to open up with a barrack. Barrack makes a lot of sense with Lancaster because a lot of the times you're going to be in your base, you're not going to be doing a whole lot out in the map, and your military will be quite reduced because you're investing into eco, naturally. And so what you're going to be doing is you're trying to get yourself ahead early on, and the way we have to do that is through deer pushing. Dun dun dun. I know people hate deer pushing, and yes, it's a tedious task and something not everyone looks forward to. I get it, but we're playing an RTS game and the meta changes every now and then, and sometimes it changes a lot. This is going to be one of the more established things as long as there's no leash or any other kind of thing for the deer. And so what we're going to be doing is, of course, push the deer back to our base so we have safe food, high gather rate safe food. The deers is, of course, the deers are the highest gather rate right after boars on a land map. So it's a really, really good food source to be able to have under your TC so you don't have to defend it later. Something that's really cool is happening here for me. So notice how I'm currently scouting around my opponent's base. I'm just checking for sheep here, as there's always sheep spawning around the opponent's base and your own base, and then of course there are bigger sheep spawns of 2 out on the map. I'm currently scouting full time here, but my opponent is taking out my deers as he doesn't want me to have deers on the TC. And so what's really cool here is I get all the sheep. He can go ahead and lame these deer if he wants to, kill them, and then I can just go and push the second deer pack, and I can also go and push him on his gold, deny the Pro Scout that way. So this ends up being really, really good for me because it makes absolutely zero sense for him to kill these deer. He will have literally almost no sheep with his scout, because now it looks like he's going to lead us to the second deer pack. He's also not going to be scouting in an area that I haven't scouted, because if he goes this way, he's going to be scouting an area that I already have scouted. Sure, he gets 2 sheep up here, but that's pretty much it. So I feel very, very good about this situation currently. So I take my 2 spears here, I go to his gold, that's why I'm beelining straight for the gold here, because I want to find it so I don't run into his TC or something. And then afterwards, I'm going to go up into the top, and I'm going to push those deers back to my base. This sets me up for a really, really good mid-game, where I don't have to think about food. All I have to do is build my Lancaster castle, and then start building manors. And how many manors should you go? That's a good question. If you're being attacked early, stick to 3 manors. If you're not being attacked early, you can go to 6. You shouldn't ever go 9 manors in feudal. That's my take on it. People will say that's right or that's wrong, depending on who you ask. But I really believe that 9 manors in feudal age is not that advantageous. I think it slows you down too much, and you just struggle to get relics later on. So I would watch out with that, because we are naturally going to go to Castle Age and get those relics, and it just... We are going to get 9 manors later on, but in the feudal age, I think it's too much of an investment. It costs you more than it gives you. Anyways, so he's gathering the gold he needs right now to go and get enough for his official, so he got that. He needs 35 gold, and it has delayed him quite a lot. Most China players will be aged up to feudal age at about 315 to 330. He's not even started yet. And we are pushing deer, we are denying the pro scouts. We are feeling very good in this situation. And so if you are a Lancaster player, get really good at this Dark Age here, because it removes so much tempo from your opponent and allows your mana boom to just come along so much easier. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to create a much better situation for yourself. So we age up, and you might say, well, this is late too. Yeah, but it's fine. We got the deers. Yeah, we also denied the pro scouts. Our opponent is going to have a hard time here. And so we can just go ahead, put the Lancaster castle, and I always put it on gold. I don't see the reason to put it on stone, because if you are being pushed, well, you're not going to be making more manors. You want units, right? And so just protect your wood and your gold, and fortunately we have gold here in the back. In the meantime, we're pushing the deer back to the base. In a moment, we're probably also going to pull this spear here, if I remember correctly. And then we're going to push the deers all the way to our base under our TC. And you might say, well, this is extreme, and I'll say, no, it's not. What's extreme is pushing your opponent's deers. I see some tournament players like B do that. And I think it's super good, right? If you can pull it off, it's really good because it's unexpected, but maybe not necessary. Okay, so we got some reactions out. Now he's back on the gold, right? So we now have him in feudal age. He's building a tower, so he's not making units right now. And we just move away. This is really good for us. By having our spears stay here, what ended up happening was he is now forced to make a tower, or he thinks he's forced to make a tower, and that's another 100 wood value for us, plus the idle time, plus the time it took for him to get back onto gold. It's a long time for him to get that pro scouts going, and we just feel super good as we're already preparing to go for the manors right now. We already got 100 stone, and we're now gathering even more wood. When you're building your manors, just start off with 3 and then start running onto gold while you're doing that. The moment you get your first manor, you can pull away from food if you're on 1 CC, because that 1 manor will give you all the food you need to constantly produce villagers. And so this is a nice little pro tip for you to get more manors out quickly. Pull away from sheep the moment you have the first manor. So now we're gonna go ahead and build that first manor over here by our gold, right there. And once that's up, we pull away from sheep. We now scout our opponent. This is again really important. Scout your opponent, figure out, are they gonna go all in and ram you? Or is he just going to stick to the standard build? And we can see, of course, we don't see that he's getting the professional scout tag when we're playing it, but we can see that he has a stable. He put the tower on gold. He's very likely to go ahead and pro scout. And so we feel really good here. We can just take this deer pack, push it the rest of the way, and then he can't take that deer. I think manors are just that insane that they actually are better than pro scouts. If you take 1 deer pack back to your base, the pro scouts is not worth it. You have to do it, right? If you're a pro scout civ, because it feels really good. You need the food, but the manors will outlast it and give you more tempo. At least in my experience. At least in my experience. All right, so first manor is up. You could pull away now from those sheep. I'm not sure if I do it here, but that's a little tip for anyone watching. You can pull away from sheep at this point. Alright, so now we're building our 3rd manor, and now we're gathering the gold to get condensed land practices, which is this upgrade. We need that upgrade so we can keep building more manors. And now we see our opponent is making archers. How do you deal with archers and don't have a stable? Well, first off, they're not really a problem right now. We got this deer back to our base. We feel really good about that. We don't have to actually build units to get more deer or anything, because we have the food we need. We just built a few more manors, and then we get most of the nobles. We get some demi-lancers, because that's going to give us the units that we need to go ahead and contest both relics in the castle age and those archers. And so I'm going to position my scout in a certain way where I'm trying to look for those archers, and if I can aggro his archers a bit, which means he starts attacking me, then I can use my demi-lancers as well to take out the archers. So he's here, I'm trying to get his attention. Now my demi-lancers come out. And here is 8 demi-lancers. And he's still following me. And I can actually continue to make him follow me by just going into the range of what he sees. And that's a good situation for me. Feels good. Now we have 6 manors. We're macroed like this. And now we go Castle Age. So what should you pick for landmark in the Castle Age? Should you go White Tower or should you go for King's College? That is a question you might ask. Well, I think it's obvious. I think you go White Tower if you're being all in with rams. build that white tower right here, and then you just build it with all your villagers. You get 3 Earl's Guard, you get the high damage output, and the ramp push is pretty much denied. If you're not being ramp pushed, you go King's College, because King's College is going to scale well throughout the game, going to give you a lot of resources back because it reduces costs of technologies, and it gives you some unique upgrades as well that are pretty cool for both Obelars, giving them insane charge damage, but also hand cannons in the Castle Age and cheaper hand cannons in general. I believe they cost the same as Streltsy, so 90 food, 9 gold. You have better trebuchets, and you have military tactics, or whatever it's called, which gives you extra bonus damage. With these Demi-Lancers, we're up against our opponent that is going Knights, which is another good situation for us because we go double stable. To counter Knights, you go Knights yourself, and with House of Lancaster, you just get Color Vestas, which is another really good upgrade from King's College that gives you +6 versus armored units. So now your Knights do almost the same damage as, it might actually be more, that Japanese Lancers do if they have the Bannerman. So with the Bannerman, I think they get +4, and it's like 28 damage or something. The Knights from Lancaster and Castle Age give you 30 damage, and so you just outperform these enemies with 24 damage so much. You're gonna have such a good time. So now we're in the relic phase, so we're just taking our sweet time here, building a lot of knights. Then we're gonna get a monastery and build some monks, and we're trying to get at least 2 relics, I would say. If we can get 3, that's really good. If we can get more than that, then that's amazing, because every relic is 2 villages. In the late game, they become 4.5 with Tithe Barns. And as you can see, we also started gathering stone again. So we're going to build more manors now as we are in the Castle Age, taking those relics and getting those knights out. So we're switching over to another gold in a moment. We can see our opponents building crossbows, which is actually not a bad move. It's really good to go knights crossbow against knights. But we have spears and they counter both of those units. And so we can just make a lot of spears and a lot of knights together, and then we have the mobility we need. He attacks on the bottom side here, so we know he's going to go there next. We caught him off here on the relic, and now we get 2 relics in total. We have 2 monks, 1 for each relic here. So, feeling good. What do I do now, you might ask? Well, I'm securing a 2nd gold here, and do I need to go castle all in at this point? Do I need to go for a 2nd TC? Do I need to go fast Imperial? Or should I just play the map? Those are questions you might ask. I think you should play greedy with Lancaster. Your opponent is on a timer. You're not on a timer. You are the guy that's going to always have more economy, and the longer the game goes, the better. If you feel comfortable constantly raiding your opponent, dividing their attention, and just always causing damage, always causing the focus of your opponent to be on the defense instead of the offense, you can greed out a lot. So for this game, my focus was to get a lot of cavalry and always go and attack him in the back of his base to force his infantry units to stay in the back. Then I could defend in my base with lots of spears. So that was the entire idea here. To go 2nd TC after the 9 manors, which I'm getting the tech for now. And then with that, play a long game. It's safer that way. It's more akin to players like Louis or Beastie or Marine Lord. They all play these macro heavy games where they're really focused on defending a lot and causing a lot of damage in the meantime. I think I was pretty much just motivated to do this because I was watching the Dar Segura tournament, the SC2 tournament that happened last week. And I was like, okay, well, let's try out this style instead, where we just go on the defensive, greed out, and then just play it out a little bit like, you know, they do in StarCraft, where they're always attacking, and then, well, it worked out, I would say. So let's see. We start walling a bit. You can do this onion thing where you creep out with the walls, which feels really good. You can make a lot of spears here because your opponent's going horsemen and crossbows and knights. So that feels really good. Here we have the 2nd gold now. We're going on the 2nd stone. We've got the manors fully built now, so we have 9 manors. Remember, each manor gives you 45 food and 60 45 wood and 60 food per minute, so it's about 105 resources. And so this is a 900 and how much is that then? Well, that would be 945 resources, I think, from these 9 manors. So that's a lot. That is insane because we're not paying any population for it. And so the longer the game goes, once we're max popped with 120 vills and 80 army, we'll have another 30 pop on top, pretty much, which is crazy. So a lot of Shugnus here, a lot of crossbows. Again, we're causing a lot of damage. We killed some vills here. And we're coming on again from the north side. We're sending multiple raids all of the time. This is the key. Always be active. If you sit in your base and just mana boom or 2DC, your opponent will come to you and kill you. You need to get active. And that should be, if you were to take anything away from this video, the main thing should be get active, active, active. You want to always be running around. Sure, you lose a knight here and there, that's fine. But as long as your opponent's in their base, you're just getting further and further ahead as you're constantly expanding your economy, taking the map with your walls, and just aiming to get that Imperial Age behind it as well. Imperial Age is really, really good for this civilization because one of the best things you can do is get the Garrison Command. The Garrison Command is one of the type of units rosters that you can build if you have the Wingguard Palace. So the Wingguard Palace allows you to build traps, allows you to build cannons and Rebaldicans, it allows you to build Demi-Lancers, and it allows you to build spears together. So you pay about 450 resources from the Wingguard, and then you get 9 melee infantry units, which is so good. It's so much value. So, building some walls here, getting a tower up, and then I'm going to go Imperial now. Behind all of this greed that I've gotten, I've also managed to go ahead and play a more aggressive game in the meantime. I'm on his wood line now. He's idling out a little bit here. His attention is always towards the bottom here where I have my army constantly poking, and he's walling up, not indicating that he wants to go to the offensive, and so I feel pretty comfortable just going for the Wingguard Palace here, as I've not allowed him to really do anything, which means that we're now going to go to the Imperial Age, and we all know that Imperial Age is all about map control, and so our focus is now going to be more walls, expand upon the map, continue to raid, and then get control of these big golds here. So the most important thing about Imperial is resource control. If you only have these first 2 golds here, which are almost exhausted now, then you're going to have a really, really hard time in Imperial Age. When you go to Imperial Age, make sure that you have a lot of villagers ready to go on the golds. So we still have another gold here in the bottom, but again, our focus is going to be on the big ones. If we deny this and we put towers in the smaller ones here, and we upgrade those towers, then we're going to be able to deny him all the gold access, and then our Imperial Age is going to be so much stronger, as we will have all of the university upgrades, all of the elite upgrades, and all of the economy upgrades as well, of course. This is the thing I was talking about. So Garrison Command is 300 food and 150 wood, and you get 8 spearmen and 1 Earl's Guard. That is amazing. That is something that we definitely want. So now we're raiding from multiple angles, and we're now going to start expanding further towards the bottom. We're just building walls in between the wood lines like this, connecting them. He's coming for a little bit of a raid here. This is the first raid that he does that actually comes and pokes. I'm not just send a couple of spearmen down. Doesn't have to be too crazy. I have all of these melee units here that I'm going to upgrade in a moment. And I'm just spamming this Garrison Command here. I believe I also get... where is it? Where is it? Yeah, so you should also get Military Academy to further boost that and get more value out of your Wingguard Palace. I get this a little bit later, but this is another upgrade that's really important. I like to have 2 blacksmiths here at this point in the game, and of course a university is really good to get as well. You want to get elite army tactics, you want to get your incendiary arrows if you want to run range units. I don't really run any range units in this game actually, I just run mass melee. I think mass melee can be so good sometimes when you're doing a lot of raiding, because it has more armor. Usually they do really well in general when they have to run around the map and be annoying over any sort of range units. So yeomen might be faster, but they're still going to get run down by horsemen. Spears and man-at-arms and stuff will do well against horsemen. I also got the elite upgrade for my knights, because I had a lot of knights out. And yeah, I'm just doing damage with that. Wingguard Palace. I'm getting Tithe Barns now. I've got the upgrade for the gold one here as well, so I'm getting, I think, is that 40 gold per minute? Yeah, 40 gold per minute from each manor. Which is almost, I think that's 360 gold per minute. So we can switch these around now. We can see the incomes. You want 2 to see at some point as well. To try to catch up on some of the villager losses and just try to play around the manor boom here that he wasn't able to punish. So I feel okay. I've got the farms going, and I'm kind of just looking for his farms as well, attacking from the top and from the bottom. I'm just looking to find the farms, which are usually in the back here, with the granary transition. And so we run in here, we find all of his farms, and this is where we're going to be attacking most of the game now, as I'm just going to send in units constantly here. And I don't care about losing these, as long as I'm doing damage and taking the map. Put a keep on the big gold. I put towers down here, our wall, right? I put a tower up here. I'm going to upgrade this later. Put the cannon emplacement on it. I'm walling the top side here to get the sacred side, and another gold up here. So we're really just playing for that map control, and this is something that everyone should be doing if they're playing this kind of game here with Lancaster. Is stay in your base in the beginning, make sure you have those deers, make sure that you're booming correctly and not too greedy, and then when you finally do get to Imperial Age, use the Wing Guard to produce a lot of units and get the entire map. It's so important. Without the map, there's no game. So many alerts right now because I'm just constantly attacking. Spears and knights are always in the field here. We've killed about 50 workers now, 27 minutes into the game. And so he would have been 10 workers ahead of me, but the raids are just constantly keeping him back. And what's more important is his army is always in his base. He's never out on the map. The only thing he's got on the map is literally this keep here, which I'm going to start now with my culverins sieging down. We've got 3 culverins almost. I've got the Wing Guard, Garrison Command being produced. I think now I also got the Military Academy. I did. And I've got the full ranged armor as well. So now I'm just pushing this area. And yeah, I'm doing an Obelisk switch. So you can see here I'm getting the Tech Veteran. And then later on I'm going to get the Elite upgrade for Obelisk. I've got the Hill training from King's College. And so this is a great unit as well to start spamming at this point, because he has so many ranged units and he has Siege. And they do a lot of bonus damage to both of those types of units. So that's what we're doing. We're going to use Culverins to snipe the hand cannons. We're going to use Obolars to kill all the ranged units and the Siege. And just have a lot of frontline units. So our damage deal is just the hand cannon. We're getting our Siege Works upgrade, which gives us 20% HP on our Culverins. We're building a tower in the bottom here, because we want to get cannons. We took out the keep up here, so now we're killing the bills. We have almost 70 worker kills now. Got the Oblars coming. Still, he's got a lot of army here. Let's not lie to ourselves. We still got the Culverins, and so we got to watch out a little bit that we don't throw too many units. But overall, all of these keeps here are giving extra damage to our Earl's Guard. They have how much extra? How many keeps do I have? Let's see. Can I see that? Yeah, we have 1 keep, I think. So that 1 keep is only giving extra 1 damage. That's okay. I've really been prioritizing more the towers, because I think towers are so good. You can tower creep through the middle as well. So just building towers all the way to your base, the opponent's base, and then kill the opponent. Yeah, that's a really good strategy as well. The whole idea is you have your villagers act as sort of military workforce by building stuff. And that can be a good way for you to, well, exercise more military power when you are pub-capped. So again, our economy is insane, and we have all these siege units here sniping away at the opponent's siege units. So it feels really good. This is the way I think Lancaster should be played. You can also play Master Yeoman here. It would be good against the range units. But this way here with lots of melee units and siege is a beautiful way to play too. Don't forget the static defenses. And yeah, all these walls here almost looking like forts. It's kind of funny. And we are trying to build walls here. They end up connecting with the opponent's wall. It's kind of funny. Yeah, we have the big farm transition. We have all of the techs that we need. And now we're taking some good trades. We're getting into our opponent's base. We have 5 culverins here. We're building a front wall. So don't be afraid to build a lot of walls like this. Now we're going to go ahead and build a keep. Get some more damage on our Earl's Guard. We're pushing forward with the culverins. And so the late game here is completed. We have all the gold access. We have literally every single gold vein under our control. Here's a bombard tower. At the top here we have a fortified tower as well. We're building more towers around these. Down here we're building keeps, we're pushing forward with walls, so if we lose our front line and he pushes out with lots of cavalry, well then there will be another wall for him to break through and we can just stand behind it and shoot. We are going through the middle here, we're upgrading these towers. Just getting all the stone that we can get from the map. And then we're stonewalling him up here so he can't escape. So a lesson as well in late game is use your villagers very proactively. And then you can win the game in a very controlled manner with Lancaster. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section what you think, and if you have any questions about how to play Lancaster, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.